This evening. My name is Gene Martin. I'm the founder and president of Route 7 Orlando. We are a network of gentlemen driven to promote growth amongst the community as well as each other. So I want you all to give it up for yourselves for being here this evening, because don't get me wrong, it's Friday night. I'm sure it's been a long week. You could be anywhere in the world, but you are here with us, and for that we are grateful. But without further ado, I did mention we have a special guest that is here with us. So I would like to bring up Congressman Maxwell Frost to share a few words, and I want to thank him for his time for being here. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up.
Well, it's a blessing to be with y'all today. I'm Congressman Maxwell Frost. I represent this area in Washington, D.C. I'm in my second term as a congressman. I was born and raised here in Orlando, Florida. Someone mentioned I look kind of young. I'm the youngest in the nation to do this job right now. But my hope, no, thank you, man. And it's not really because of me, it's because the community voted me in, you know? And I just want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to speak with you briefly. I'm such a fan of this organization and the work that y'all do, you know? When I think about myself and kind of what my Route 7 was growing up, for me, it was actually a jazz band. I'm a musician. My dad's a full-time pan player. He's a steel pan player. And I grew up with music always being in the house. And I always wanted to be a musician my whole life. And then something wrong happened and I got into politics. But I always wanted to be a drummer. And for me, it was the rhythm section, which is piano, bass, drums, guitar. That was my Route 7 growing up. Those were the people who we held each other accountable. We always came to each other with problems, but we always unlocked each other's potential. And actually, I was just doing an interview with someone. They were asking me about what does accountability mean? And I think sometimes the word accountability has a little bit of a negative connotation with certain people. You know, they hear accountability and they think it's something like that keeps you down or keeps you compressed. And I think part of accountability is making sure that, of course, we're not doing the wrong things. We're staying on track to our goal. But accountability is also about keeping us accountable to our dreams, which is about unleashing, not contracting. And when I think about all the random things I've done in my life thus far, it's been the people in my Route 7, which was my jazz band, who've helped me, even outside of high school, do these random crazy things, to the point where I said at 24 years old, I want to run for the United States Congress. And so many people called me crazy, but it was those people in my life, my best friends and us that hold us accountable. We said, you know what, we're going to support you in this because we want to help you hold you accountable to your dream of helping people through politics and helping people through music. And I'm not going to get into politics right now, but what I will say is we're in a divided time in our country. And I think spaces like this are more important now than they've ever been, because it can be difficult. You know, the past 2 days for me have been very difficult in this job. But even just walking in this room, the energy of y'all that y'all have with each other as brothers and this brotherhood is rubbing off on me just by speaking with a few of y'all. And that's what this is about, right? It's about coming together, learning together, loving on one another, but then also looking at how you can love on the community. And that's what we need. You know, I always tell people government can do a lot of good in this world, but government historically has also been good at failing and failing a lot of communities. And that's why organizations like Route 7 and what y'all are doing is so important, because you're seeing where government has failed. And where we have failed are young people and failed people, and saying, let's bring together our expertise to show grace on the community. And one of my favorite things that y'all do is the mentorship of young people, especially at Boys and Girls Club. And I actually used to work at Boys and Girls Club. I did a summer job there when I was in high school. It was a really good test in patience. I learned a lot about patience when I was working there. But I also learned a lot about getting to know people who come from different experiences than me. And so I just want to praise y'all for that mentorship program. It's so important. Keep doing it. A lot of times people don't realize that a mentorship program can do so much for a young person, so much more than even them just doing better in school. It can keep somebody alive. Something I'm really proud of is we've brought back millions of dollars for community violence intervention programs here in Orlando. And a lot of those programs are just mentorship programs that are keeping kids from messing around with guns, from going on the streets and making bad decisions. And so, again, it's not just about excelling in an institution, but being able to stay alive and being able to say there's someone that I can look up to, there's somebody that loves me. And the fact of the matter is there's so many people in this country who don't feel that love on a day-to-day basis. And the motto of my office is lead with love. And I think love is one of the most important things that we have as humanity, but also as Black men in this community, especially in a divided time. So I just want to keep encouraging y'all to take the love that you have for one another in this room and take it outside of this room to continue to show the community what this looks like, what accountability looks like, what collaboration looks like, and what it means to set your egos aside for the good of the group. I work in a place full of the most egotistical people on earth. And I wish that when we walked in the room, everybody checked their ego at the door, because I think we do better work for the community. Because it's not about me. I always say it's not the Maxwell Frost show. It's the Orlando show, right? It's the District 10 show. And that's the kind of energy I try to bring in the rooms I walk into and the work that I do. So I just thank you for having me to kick off your annual meeting. Really appreciate the work that you do. And thank you for having me.